houses were adjourned within 10 minutes of commencement. The Speaker in Lok Sabha and the Chair in Rajya Sabha appealed to the opposition to maintain calm in the House so that business can continue, but the opposition stayed adamant and demanded answers from the Prime Minister himself on the issue of Manipur. While the government insists on a Rule 176 debate on Manipur, which will be a little bit shorter debate, while other pending businesses also carry on, the opposition wants suspension of all other business to debate Manipur for longer. But it doesn't end here, the clash over the Manipur horror video. BJP has also come out all guns blazing against, quote, hypocrisy of the opposition over crimes against women. BJP highlighted a Manipur-like incident in West Bengal during the recent Panchayat polls and how not just the ruling TMC but even the Congress is silent on it. According to the NCRB data, Rajasthan has reported over 6,000 rape cases and over 9,000 cases of assault on women in 2021. West Bengal has seen countless such cases come to light during political violence alone in 2021 and even during the recent Panchayat polls. BJP says this shows how collective opposition is only highlighting cases in BJP-ruled states but not caring about what happens under their own government. Have crimes against women become, or rather stayed, nothing more than a political football between parties? Is there not a clear double standard in the outrage over such crimes? Law and order is a state subject. Shouldn't each state government be held accountable for its own record first, without any whataboutery and passing off the buck? We'll take that question to our guests in just a bit. First up, let me give you some latest updates on the Manipur assault case. Now, 4 accused have been arrested so far by the police, and all 4 have been sent to police custody. Remember, most of these arrests were made by last night itself. The custody that has been granted is for 11 days now. Facial recognition technology is also being used, we are told, for the identification of the others because the video has now come to light. Manipur police will also record the statements of the victims finally. Meanwhile, houses of 2 accused in the case have been burnt down by locals. So that just gives you a measure of the anger that is prevailing on ground against a crime like this. Now, the National Commission for Women has come under scanner for this case as it has come to light that they received a complaint in this matter. But the case never came to light, at least to the media or the public, till the video went viral 2 days ago. They are also being accused of not taking action. Here is what has happened. We are being told an official complaint or a complaint has been filed or was filed with the NCW on June 12th. The case of the women being paraded naked was also mentioned, apart from several other cases that have been highlighted to the NCW over the past 2 months. Now, the complaint was filed by a North American Manipur Tribal Association. The NCW says in its defense that the complaint was forwarded to the Manipur government, and the NCW has actually put the blame on the Biren Singh-led Manipur government and the police there for inaction in this matter. Meanwhile, BJP, as I said, has shined a light on a similar case from West Bengal that also went unnoticed and unacted upon. They have reported a Manipur horror-like incident from Howrah. A woman candidate was allegedly stripped, paraded naked. Incident is being reported during the Bengal Panchayat polls that were recently concluded, and remember, over 50 deaths have been reported from the Panchayat election period as well. The BJP has slammed Mamata Banerjee government for the silence over this incident while she is raking up Manipur. BJP has also accused that TMC workers were involved in the sexual assault against this woman. That brings us to the big debate on the show. While we continue to shine a light on the crime that has come to light from Manipur and the accountability of the Manipur government and the central government in this case, aren't there not clear double standards when it comes to crimes against women?
नारेबाजी से समस्याओं का समाधान होगा क्या? समाधान होगा चर्चा संवाद से, चर्चा होगा बातचीत से। ये तरीका उचित नहीं है।
प्रधानमंत्री जी खुद एक बयान देना हमारा डिमांड है और बयान देने के बाद उसके ऊपर चर्चा होगी।
हमारा बेटियों लोग को बचा ले। पश्चिम बंगाल बाहर नहीं है, पश्चिम बंगाल देश में ही है।
Let's go across to the guests joining us. Neha Joshi from the BJP. JP Majumdar is the TMC spokesperson joining us on the show. I'm also joined by Thainojam Brinda, who's former ASP from Manipur, and Dr. Goite, Associate Professor, JNU, is also joining us because we continue to want to talk about the issue in Manipur and what the resolution needs to be, including how the politicians are taking this forward with disruptions in Parliament. Let me begin with our guests first. Ms. Brinda, I want to come to you. The Manipur issue, of course, has been spoken to in various ways, the conflict, the reason behind it, what needs to be done, what's happening on ground. But what is also happening is that now that this video has come to light, what we expected from our parliamentarians was that they'll debate this in Parliament. Instead, what we're seeing is one upmanship happening. So even if there could have been a 2-hour debate or a 3-hour debate on it, no debate has happened. Are you disappointed that 2 days of monsoon session have gone by, but no debate has happened on the floor of the Parliament?
Certainly very much disappointed. At least we, the people of Manipur, expected that we should be, given some honor, at least for an hour or two or a whole day of discussion on the burning in Manipur. And this, the government has to respect that, and it has been adjourned till Monday. This is very tragic, and this shows the apathy of the government of India towards what's happening in Manipur and how they want to wrap things up and cover everything under the carpet. This shows their hypocrisy. This shows their lackadaisical attitude towards Manipur. This shows that Manipur, they do not consider Manipur as one of them, and that we are, some third-class citizens, that do not need to be noticed or discussed, whose plights are just like animals to them.
But I want to ask you, this is a political issue, so I don't want to drag you into the politics of it. But the government is saying we are willing to discuss Manipur along with other issues that Parliament needs to take care of. Do you think the opposition should agree to that? Or do you believe that the matter is such that the opposition demand is correct, that all other business should be suspended? They will discuss only Manipur, and the Prime Minister, they're demanding that the Prime Minister must also be present and respond to that.
See, it is up to them. Whether they want to discuss Manipur along with other issues or not, it is up to the parliamentarians. But for us as a Manipuri, we want us to be discussed. We want what is taking place in Manipur to be aired in the parliament. We want the whole world to know what's taking place in Manipur.
Right.
And they should not play this game, blame game, and keep on shifting responsibility. They should take accountability and hold the government of Manipur accountable and responsible for what has been happening since last 78 days. They can no longer run away from the responsibility of Manipur.
Absolutely. Dr. Goite, can I come to you also on the similar question? 2 days of Parliament, this video has come to light, the plight of women and just generally the plight of citizens. There are so many horrific videos on social media about, I'm not just saying just women, but even men who've been burnt alive and are lying in the gutters in the streets next to their houses. So this issue needed to be debated in Parliament now that finally the session has started. But there's so much political brinkmanship that even a short debate on Manipur has not become possible.
True, completely agree with you. And I think now that the Parliament session is on, and this very appalling nature of the crime which the video has surfaced, and as you have reported at the beginning of this this highlights, that the perpetrator has been arrested. And the question is, when the perpetrator can be arrested now because of the appalling nature of the crime, and there is an uproar at the national and international level, and the state government acting very fast on this. The question is, why can't they act very fast on the 3rd, 4th, 5th May? So where was the state government at that time? One, this is the first point I want to make. And secondly, coming to the Parliament taking up this issue, is the fact that, for the past 2.5 months, the central government was silent and they were not taking swift action to end the violence. It was going on. Both the parties were suffering, and their silence clearly reflects that they are complacent to what is going on. Okay. Third, when the Prime Minister speak up on a 30-second bites, which he has given, and that too very specifically to this appalling nature of the crime, because the video which has surfaced is a gross atrocities which a civilization, which a human civilization can do to a woman. And despite that, there are people who are saying that, who are justifying and who are normalizing this kind of violence towards women by quoting examples from history. So this is the society that we are in. So Parliament taking up this issue is very important, and the parliamentarians are voicing their concern. And it is not the only duty of the parliamentarian. I would say even the media houses is coming up in a big way now after this video has resurfaced. There are media houses who are covering it consistently about it, but the mainstream media houses are also coming up. So this is something which is very strange when it comes to the violence in Manipur. Is Manipur not a part of India? Is the citizen of Manipur not a citizen of India? So the pain of the citizen of Manipur should be equally the pain of the Prime Minister. He is disturbed. He is disturbed and he is angered that a question is raised in European Parliament. But he is not disturbed and he is not angered when there has been violence and death and then sexual violence happening in Manipur for the past 2.5 months. So these are some gross questions we need to question ourselves as a civilized society, if we at all call ourselves.
All right.
So,
I'm going to come back to both of you on what you would hope the government is able to do on ground, because I don't want to prejudge the situation that the government is not doing anything. Clearly, this is a very complex situation and a difficult situation to handle when two communities have decided that they're going to pick up arms and, kill each other. So this is a conflict zone and it can be difficult. But what is it that the government can do? I'll come back to that question in just a bit. But let me go across to our other political guests on the politics that is being played. Neha Joshi, it has come to light that the NCW did not quite take up the issue of the crimes against women in Manipur that were being flagged to them with the kind of attention that was deserving from a body like that. It's a statutory body. I understand you would say the BJP has nothing to do with it, but we all know that government pressures work. Is it not gross dereliction of duty on the part of the NCW to keep quiet till the video came to light?
I do not have sufficient light in my room. I'm sorry.
Yes, Neha
Good evening,
Joshi.
Shivani. Thank you for having me. Now, Shivani, first of all, what's happened in Manipur, it has shaken the collective consciousness of the country, as it rightly should. But we also know, Shivani, that the violence in Manipur, there's a legacy issue, it's a political issue. And unfortunately, historically, what's happened is that women have often been used as pawns in men's political and other wars. So what
I get all of that, Neha, I get all of that, but the government could have acted. They're all acting now, arresting people now. NCW is out speaking about it now. The question is only that. Surely the administration was aware of this.
So Shivani, the administration was aware of the issue that women are being used as political pawns in Manipur. We've seen various videos, Shivani, and I'm sure you've seen them too, where women, women were weaponized. They were put in front of security forces. They threatened to strip. Those disturbing visuals have also come from Manipur. What we saw right now, it has shaken everyone in the country. And the right questions are being asked, that why did it take so long? Today, when the video evidence has surfaced, the government did not have evidence on who were the perpetrators. The video evidence surfaced, and what I know is that 3 of them the prime accused have been arrested, and the hunt is on for the rest of the gang who was involved in this. Biren Singh, right from day one, he's stood up and held himself accountable. He's talking to the media. He's answering every question that needs to be answered. The central government, the Prime Minister himself has issued a statement, and we are saying that let's debate about this in Parliament. Let's not make it a standalone incident where there is a media outrage, everybody focuses on it, and then let's debate about the issue of violence against women. Let's debate this in Parliament. But you saw what happened in Parliament today. The opposition wants to reduce it to a political issue. They
Mr.
do not
Majumdar,
care
you want to
about
come in
women
on that?
politics.
I don't quite understand why the opposition is insisting it's either this or nothing. Should at least some debate on Manipur not happen?
Listen, Shivani, Prime Minister has spoken after 60 days for 30 seconds. What a Prime Minister. He forgotten that there is a state in India called Manipur. Otherwise, how he could ignore Manipur for about 60 days, if not more? Number one. Number two, the Manipur was without internet facility for these 60 days. That's why nothing could come out of Manipur. Draconian system was put to suppress everything, and the killing and the rape are go on. And I would point out that about 6 months back, Manipur was peaceful. So why this incident happened, we should not forget. My friend from BJP has forgotten to state one thing what is BJP is proud of. That double engine government they always use. Double
Yeah,
engine
they'll face the
government
flag for it too.
सब कुछ होगा. तो इसका
Sir,
जवाब
you
तो उन
are
लोग
the
को ही देना
last
पड़ेगा.
person.
They cannot put,
You are the
you
last
cannot
person
put
who
condition for
can
discussion
talk
in
about
parliament.
women's rights and women's
The
securities.
country, what they
Under
say,
your
you
nose,
have to hear the
women
condition. You
have
cannot
been-
put
women
condition
have been
in parliament
brutalized.
discussion.
Your
What
father
criminalization?
has been raping women. To over 200 women, elderly women, young women were raped during the last Vidhan Sabha elections by people involved with the Trinamool Congress. It's happening right under your nose.
So you are
A
justifying
BJP
Manipur
candidate
Manipur
was
incident.
paraded
You are
naked
justifying.
in Howrah
No.
district.
But-
Now you're going to ask me
Shivani,
to journalist-
One second. Can I just come in? Can I just come in? Can I just come in? I request both of you, I'll give you enough time. Please don't speak over each other. Mr. Majumdar, I asked you the question about why not let the debate, even if it's a shorter debate, 2.5 hours, under Rule 176, why not let that debate happen? Why is the opposition insisting it's all or nothing? Aren't you doing one-upmanship, brinkmanship? You wanted the Prime Minister to speak about it, he spoke about it. The Home Minister is the minister in charge. He's willing to talk about it. Let it happen.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
The question is, why is BJP is in a position to... I am asking you, Shivani, is BJP is in a position to put condition about this Manipur heinous incident? Why they are putting conditions? This much debate, not more than that. And Prime Minister has spoken out after 60 days for 30 seconds. Do you think it actually showed his concern? No. The nation does not believe him anymore on Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao.
Okay, let Neha respond to it. I'll come back.
Believe.
I'll come to the hypocrisy and the double standards over crimes against women in just a bit. But Neha, please respond to the point that Mr. Majumdar is making.
Shivani, a TMC spokesperson should be the last one to be speaking about women's rights. We saw, and you've seen it, that come elections in Bengal, whether it's Panchayat election, whether it's Vidhan Sabha, it's Lok Sabha, how women are brutalized. There have been multiple reports, multiple investigative agencies have come up with numbers on how Bengal is one of the worst in terms of crimes against women. And how Miss Mamta Banerjee, I still remember the rape incident where she came out and said, this victim was living in with the perpetrator and hence it's not even rape. Now we see the TMC spokesperson coming here and talking about hum jaisa kahenge waisa hua. That's not how it works. There's devolution of power in this country. The Home Minister was looking at the Manipur issue. He's authorized. He is the authority who should be looking at the issue. Why do you want the Prime Minister to be involved in everything? Just because you have a model where there's one person who governs everything, one person word trumps everyone. That's not how
Shivani,
Sir, I'm coming to you.
We
Yes.
have specific authority.
I have questions for both of you, but let Mr. Majumdar come in. Mr. Majumdar, 10 seconds. Make your point. I have a question for you.
Shivani, just one thing.
Yes.
Today we are not going to speak about all the rapes in the country and everything.
Why not,
What
sir? Why not? Why do we not speak about West Bengal?
Can I complete my statement?
Shivani,
Shivani, can I complete my statement?
And you refuse to speak
Shivani,
about
can
it.
I complete my statement?
Neha, I'll give you time. Let him finish.
I know they are in a very bad situation, but don't be so agitated, Neha. The question is, are you justifying your Manipur incident because some more incident happened elsewhere in India? Is that the justification?
Okay, let her answer that. I'll come back to you. You're making the same point. Yes, Neha, are you trying to, in a way, escape the attention because of this Manipur video that has come to light, that has finally put your government, both in state and center, in the dock by broad-basing the issue? That's the point that the opposition is making. Why don't you talk about this? When opposition tries to say, oh, what about these states, that states, you claim what about too?
Shivani, if we did not want to talk about it, BJP would not be sending spokesperson to channels to talk about this. We want to talk about this, whether it's in the media, whether it's on social media or in parliament. We are willing to talk about it. We are willing to talk about Manipur.
Because they are sending people to channel. That means they are without any problem.
Sir, one second, let her finish now. Let her finish. Sir, let her finish now. Let her finish. Yes, Neha, please finish your point.
No, Shivani, it has become a pattern that when it comes to non-BJP ruled states, the kind of atrocities, I'm in charge for BJYM for Rajasthan. 18 rapes per day is the figure in Rajasthan according to NCRB. This is not the BJP data. This is the data of NCRB. And when Mr. Majumdar and his party leaders share stage with Mr. Gehlot and his party leaders, they do not ask these questions.
Okay,
and hence
fair enough. Can I just come in?
Happen because they're scared that when we talk about Manipur, West Bengal will also come up.
Okay, fair enough. Can I just come in? I want to once again, I want to anchor this debate to the point that I'm trying to raise as a woman myself. My point is, there are some cases that are always in history, you can't always explain it. Some cases get more media attention. They evoke more outrage. Let's say the Nirbhaya case in Delhi. There have been similar brutal gang rapes of other women as well. Sometimes some cases just, become a tipping point of sorts of the anger coming out. That is one aspect. So that's just, that just tells you that sometimes some crimes get more attention, which is in nobody's control. It just happens organically. In this case, a video has come to light. It has naturally evoked greater reaction than reading just a story. We have to understand, as human beings, we are all human beings. But my point is, Mr. Majumdar, and I must press on it, if one case leads to highlighting other cases too, what is wrong with that? Now, if BJP is coming out and saying, just recently in Bengal during Panchayat elections, you had another woman who was stripped and paraded naked, then what is the problem in discussing that too? Don't we discuss these cases precisely so that all kinds of cases can get their due attention? Is it not unfair on your part to say no? There can be 39 rape cases registered during political violence in 2021 in Bengal, but that doesn't matter right under our noses.
Can I answer?
Yes.
First of all, today's allegation, counter allegation of BJP by one member of parliament, Loket Chatterjee. First of all, that is a blatant lie and atrocious complaint. Number one. Number two, entirely fake news. Number three, pathetic acting by ex-film star Loket Chatterjee. Why? Alleged incident took place.
How dare
by
you?
herself.
You're talking about
I am
a woman.
telling you.
You're talking about a member of
I'm
parliament.
talking about what happened. Please listen.
Mind
Please
your
listen.
language.
Please listen.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to allow you to speak about a woman like that. She is a member of parliament elected by the people of West Bengal.
Member of parliament cannot lie.
This is exactly your attitude and your party's attitude
I am
towards
telling
women.
you.
It should not matter whether she is an actress or not.
Okay, no, absolutely. No, absolutely. Once again, let me intervene. I don't want both of you to be speaking over each other. We have enough time. Sir, I'll give you 1 minute full. I will give you 1 minute full, but sir, I will request you, it is not in good taste to bring somebody's former profession, etc. into this. You have a point to make against what Loket Chatterjee said. Please go ahead.
I'm sorry. But the fact remains, the alleged incident took place on 8th of July.
Yes.
The complaint was made by email from a BJP email ID on 13th of July.
Okay.
There was no sign. Police registered a case on 14th of July. And when that particular lady was contacted on whose name this allegation was made, she denied the fact that she knew such allegation has been made or FIR has been made. Now, most importantly, day before yesterday, on 19th July, a so-called BJP fact-finding team came to all these member of parliament, came to Bengal, and they went to her house, that alleged person, that woman, and she denied anything, any atrocities.
Okay, all right. I take your point. Neha Joshi will respond to that. I take your point, sir. Neha Joshi will respond to that. But my question to you is that there have been rapes that have happened as a means of political violence in West Bengal. In 2021, 39 cases have been registered by the CBI after doing their ground reporting, because much more were alleged. They have only lodged complaints in 39.
One statement.
So, sir, let's not pretend like the government did everything in its power when these cases came to light.
Shivani, just one statement.
Yes.
After that, my BJP friend can come for her defense. NCRB report, she said. NCRB report also showed Uttar Pradesh government is second in the list of women atrocities. And West Bengal is much down that particular list. Rajasthan may be number 1, but Uttar Pradesh is number 2.
Yes, sir, but Uttar Pradesh's population is much different than Rajasthan and West Bengal. We can't go by absolute numbers. But anyways, I'm not getting into that debate. I'm just saying each state government must be held responsible. Sir, I don't want to speak over you. Sir, one second. I don't want to speak over you. I am just saying, let each state government, UP, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, let each state government first respond to what happens in their state under law and order before they raise questions over others and play politics on crimes against women. This is what I'm saying. Neha Joshi, please respond.
Shivani, unfortunately, we as a country need to do better in providing a safe and secure environment for women. We all know that. Fortunately, we have state governments who can be held responsible for specific incidents. For instance, here, what happened in Manipur is the responsibility of the Manipur government. The CM is at the forefront of tackling this. We know that the issue in Manipur is, much more complicated than crime, than a simple incident of crime against women. There's a political issue. There's a larger
no, but that doesn't justify the delay in the action. However, but Neha, leave that aside and please respond to the question on Bengal and others. He's saying this complaint is fake. It is being pushed.
Shivani, I was on another channel just before this, and the TMC spokesperson said, "Where is the video?" Their playbook, is about find the victim, suppress their voice, and ask for proof. The onus is on the victim to provide proof. If this video had not surfaced, if the victims have come out and said that this has happened, should we not have believed them? Are we going to become a country where we depend on viral videos on social media to believe that a crime has happened? Is that what Mr. Majumdar wants for this country?
No, one second. I have to give my other two guests an opportunity to speak. Miss Brinda. One second. Miss Dr. Gute has been wanting to come in. Sir, 1 second. I've given enough time to both of you. Dr. Gute had wanted to come in. I've limited time. I'll give you 30 seconds, ma'am. Overall, the issue of crimes against women, unfortunately, for our politicians, and this goes across board, this is not about actually solving the problem. This is just about, so-and-so is worse.
First of all, are we talking about Manipur violence or in crime against women in general?
Both are related,
this has been going on. This is not how the show should function. I'm sorry, but
ma'am, both things are related.
It also reflects the kind of neglect that Manipur violence has got into it. Even the media attention, the mainland attention, nobody knows about the ABCD of the Manipur crisis. The main crisis was the majority-minority ethnic conflict that resulted in such an appalling crime, which needs to be addressed. The constant marginalization of the sections of the population and the attempt to make Manipur a sole preserve of one community is the root cause of the ethnic war.
Ma'am, we have discussed all of that. We have discussed all of that over the last 2 months. I am not denying that that should be not discussed, but that cannot be discussed. That is something that is, you know, we have discussed it over the past 2 months and enough has been said about it. Ultimately, it's about the state government to act. The responsibility is with the state government and the central government in this case. We all know the ethnic conflict.
The failure of the state machinery under the CM Biren Singh cannot be overlooked and it should be investigated.
Okay, all right.
There are the people, the youth, the mob, they are being fed, they are loyal to the CM. And this mob carrying out sexual violence, assault, rape, these are all under the nose of the Manipur police.
And they'll be held responsible for this too. Clearly, former officers have also told us that the administration and the police is also split right down the middle on ethnic lines. Brindaji, I'll give you 30 seconds too. What is the solution? Should the government just, with an iron fist, crack down on anyone who has a gun, who is arming themselves? What is the solution? Because the government, I'm guessing, doesn't want to be very heavy-handed in this conflict.
See, for the last 78 days, this government hasn't performed and we have seen it. And we cannot wait further for it to perform. And we cannot trust it to perform also. So the immediate step that we have to take for damage control is for New Delhi to impose president's rule in the state and put the state under emergency and take law and order into its hands.
Okay.
Make both parties, ethnic groups, come to the table for dialogue and start the peace process.
All right. I understand your concern and maybe the time has come for that to happen. We'll wait and see what the central government does in this regard. I do thank all of our guests for joining us. Time for a very short break. On the other side, we'll get you how Varanasi court has now approved an ASI scientific survey of the Gyanvapi mosque area. This is going to be an important milestone in this lengthy legal case, but will it unravel the whole truth? That's the question we ask.
FG and JPN. FG and JPN. Yeah, FG and Shelar, very good morning. Loud and clear copy. I'm at the base station. There's a clip going on live on Tanker Victor. Demo to them. FG and JPN, over.
Copy that, sir. Copy that.
Yeah, thank you. Fine and copy. DCS is also with you?
So he is between me and you.
Okay, Delta chaliye ko JPN. Yeah, you are coming in. You are coming 5757 over.
We are right here at the Isalwadi village where this particular landslide took place late last night. Around 11:30 p.m. was when the landslide took place. Now the NDRF team has called off its rescue operation. You can see the team coming down all the way from the top. The hill that you see, in fact behind this hill, the one that's covered in fog, is where the incident took place late last night. Ever since then, rescue operation is constantly on. It will begin again tomorrow at 5 a.m. Right now, the challenges that are being faced by the NDRF team is that there is very low visibility. Like you can also see in these visuals, the entire area is covered in fog. Also, it's constantly raining around this area. This was something that even Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, who visited the spot all the way until there, mentioned that they had kept helicopters ready for the rescue operation, but rains and the visibility there is making it even more difficult to get any access. And in fact, this is the base camp where we are from here. The route towards this particular village where this incident took place is approximately 2.5 hours by foot. There is no other way that any kind of help can in fact reach there. The only way is this small route wherein only one person can walk at a time. Also with the rains, it is becoming even more difficult because the entire area has become mucky and people are slipping around that spot. So the accessibility is a problem, which is where at the end of this day, closing it, In fact, NDRF team has mentioned that they had rescued 21 people and so far 16 people have been declared dead.
Quite a tragic incident that has taken place, and you can constantly see the visuals on your screen as to how the particular situation has panned out and how the rescue operations are taking place. We have Yasha Kotok from the particular ground joining us live on this broadcast. Yasha, a very good morning to you. Well, rescue operations have been resumed, and what information are we receiving post the teams have resumed their work this morning, and what are the difficulties they're facing on the ground even now?
So yes, the rescue operations have started again early this morning. Last night, after there was low visibility, also considering that once the sun sets, the area which does not really have any kind of electricity arrangement, there's no possibility that NDRF can continue its operation. The NDRF team had in fact reached the previous night around 12 o'clock, following which the operation had only begun in the morning because of the visibility problem. This morning, considering NDRF team has reached the spot, now the major challenge here is that this particular area, this particular village, that is the Isalgarh Wadi village, is on top of a hill wherein accessibility is a problem for NDRF team to take medical supplies also up there. It will take anywhere between 2 to 2.5 hours of a trek along a route which is filled with muck, and it's constantly pouring, and there's fog, which is where visibility is a problem, accessibility is a problem with the rain, and which is where now, considering that most of these houses, they are in 40 to 50 feet of mud, rescuing people or even getting dead bodies out is a big challenge. In fact, what was seen yesterday was that as of now, the death reported is 16. Those who were reported dead, there was a post-mortem conducted at that particular village spot itself, and they were given a burial close to the landslide area. Those who were being rescued were being brought down to the base camp. Let us tell you, base camp to the landslide location is approximately 2.5 hours of trek. We've seen that there were several ministers, including Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, who had reached that spot, which is a very difficult terrain to, in fact, reach. But now, considering that the NDRF operations are on,
Maharashtra, wherein even as bad weather hampers rescue operations at the landslide affected region in Maharashtra's Raigad, the NDRF teams have resumed the rescue operations in order to evacuate those trapped inside the debris, and the last rites of those who have passed away in the landslide will be conducted. So far, as per figures that have been shared by the NDRF, 16 people have been reported dead, while 21 were rescued alive, and 75 people were safely evacuated from the village. Chief Minister Eknath Shinde also visited the spot on Thursday. Let's take a look at what all happened in Maharashtra yesterday.
महाराष्ट्र के रायगढ़ जिले में इरशाल गांव के ऊपर लैंडस्लाइड हो चुका है और इस दुर्घटना में अभी तक 16 जन की मौत हो गई है। इसमें बहुत सारे दिक्कतें आ रही है। अभी नेटवर्क इशू से की वजह से कम्युनिकेशन यहां पर नहीं हो रहा है, लेकिन रिलायंस की तरफ से यहां पर कम्युनिकेशन सेंटर खड़े किए गए हैं। 4 कम्युनिकेशन सेंटर से अभी रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन चालू है और रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन में कम्युनिकेशन सेंटर का अभाव जो है वो पूरा दिख रहा है। हम ये कैसा कम्युनिकेशन सेंटर है, किस तरह से ये चलने वाला है, ये जयप्रकाश जी से पूछने वाले। सर, ये कैसा कम्युनिकेशन सेंटर काम करने वाला है और इसका कितना हेल्प ये रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन में हो जाएगा?
ये जो है VHF सेट है, वेरी हाई फ्रीक्वेंसी, ये डायरेक्ट लाइन ऑफ साइट काम करती है। मतलब डायरेक्ट कम से कम 50 किलोमीटर हम लोग कहीं पे भी ऑल ओवर द सराउंडिंग 50 किलोमीटर हम लोग बात कर सकते हैं इसके थ्रू। और अगर इंटरवोल्यूशन
Thanks a lot for staying with us. Now, Varanasi court today granted permission for the scientific survey of the Gyanvapi mosque complex by the ASI. The scientific survey by the ASI will take place between 8 a.m. and 12 noon, but it won't be carried in the barricaded wazukhana where a shivling-like structure exists. The ASI has been directed by the court to produce a study report to it by August 4. The court clarified that there will be no restrictions on namaz and no damage should be caused to the mosque structure. The Muslim side is likely to oppose the move and may challenge the order in Allahabad High Court. A videographic survey of the Gyanvapi complex last year, remember, had revealed what the Hindu side claimed was a shivling inside the mosque premises. The Muslim side had insisted that that structure is merely a fountain. So what does this order really mean? Now, it is a big step towards resolution of this age-old Kashi Vishwanath Gyanvapi mosque dispute. The ASI survey may provide scientific backing to the arguments of either side of the case. And the findings of the ASI will now also become part of the evidence, so they will come on record. The survey may also decide if Places of Worship Act applies in this case or not. Remember, last year, the Supreme Court had also said that determining the character of a religious place is not barred by this 1991 law. The big debate that's coming up, though, is whether the ASI survey alone can unravel the entire truth, and will it be a clincher in this legal battle?
Very welcome order, because we had asked for ASI survey of this entire premises apart from the Wazu tank, and this order has been passed by the Honorable District Court Varanasi. So we are very happy and we are very thankful and grateful to the Honorable District Court Varanasi.
All right, going across to the guest joining us, Vishnu Jain, who's the lawyer from the Hindu petitioner side, is joining us. Desh Ratan Nigam is advocate and political analyst. Shahid Ali is president of United Muslims Front, and Maulana Masoodul Hasan Kazmi is Muslim scholar, also joining us. Vishnu, let me begin with you. Big day, good day for you. But how do you look at the fact that the very area where you were claiming a shivling-like structure has been found is actually outside of the purview of this ASI survey? Does that not weaken your case?
No, not at all, because there is already an order of the Allahabad High Court on 12th of May, where the Honorable Allahabad High Court had directed the ASI survey of the Wazu tank. That matter is pending adjudication before the Supreme Court, and the next date of hearing in that matter is on 29th of August. So there is no correlation between survey of Wazu tank and survey of the entire area, because the survey of Wazu tank will be on a very specific question that whether it's a fountain or not. That's a separate issue. But the other aspect of the matter is that now the order of district court has been uploaded, and if you give me some time, I want to read and tell the viewers about the directions of the district court Varanasi. Sure. And this survey has to start with immediate effect. The direction of the district court Varanasi is this, that the district court Varanasi has directed the ASI to conduct a detailed scientific investigation by GPR, which is ground penetrating radar, excavation and dating method and other modern techniques to find out as to whether the same has been constructed over a pre-existing structure of a Hindu temple. The District Court Varanasi has further directed the director of the ASI to conduct a scientific investigation after associating the plaintiffs and the defendants and their counsels, and also to conduct videography and photography of the entire survey proceeding. The third direction, which is very, very crucial, is that the Honorable Court has directed the director of the ASI to investigate the age and nature of the western wall of the building in question and conduct a scientific survey. The court has also directed the ground penetration radar survey just below the 3 domes of the building in question and conduct excavation if required. The court has also directed the director of the SI to conduct GPR survey beneath the western wall and conduct excavation if required. The court has also directed the director of the SI to conduct GPR just below the cellars, which is the Tehkana of Vyazi, and conduct excavation if required. Then, very, very important, the court has also directed to prepare the list of artifacts, and the court has also directed GPR survey and excavation wherever required and do dating exercise without damaging the structure. So the sacrosanct principle is that the structure will not be damaged, but by methods like ground penetrating radar and other modern techniques, first it will be ascertained that whether there is anything beneath this, and if it will be ascertained, then immediately there will be excavation and all the list of artifacts will be prepared. This exercise has to be conducted immediately, forthwith, and by 4th of August a report has to be submitted before the District Court Varanasi.
So is this game set and match for you? You seem very, very enthused by the order today. Is this because you feel that this survey will clinch for the Hindu side the fact that this temple was indeed raised, of course, as per historical records too, and a mosque was built over it. Is that the game set match here?
See, there is no enthusiasm in victory and there is no sadness in any loss. The point in issue is this, that this is a legal proceeding. And in the legal proceeding, we have moved an application by virtue of Order 26, Rule 10A of the CPC, read with Section 45 of the Indian Evidence Act, where we have said that, look here, the bone of contention is this, that whether Aurangzeb has built this mosque or there was a pre-existing Hindu temple has to be ascertained by ASI. Let me quote you judgment of Supreme Court in 1994, 6 SCC page 360 para 151, where the Supreme Court has said that this kind of controversies can be decided only by an expert body like ASI. Let me also quote you the judgment of the Supreme Court in Ram Mandir case, 2021 SCC page 1, where at para 658 the Supreme Court has said that ASI is the premier institution in the country which can do such kind of exercises. Now let me put you certain very, very hard facts. If I am saying and I am having a claim that the western wall of so-called structure is a structure of a Hindu temple, how will I prove it? Can I prove it by an oral evidence? If I am saying and I am having a claim that just beneath the central domes there is a Hindu temple and Hindu shikar existing, how will I prove it? If I am saying that there are existing shivlings right beneath the central dome, how will I prove it? If I am saying that there are many, many proofs and artifacts which are hidden by artificial walls, how will I prove it? Therefore, ASI is the need of the hour, ASI is required, and this is a legal process which is followed. I am neither enthusiast nor I am sad. As a lawyer, it's my duty to read before you the order of the Honorable Court. Therefore, I have stated it. And the fact of the matter is that this is a legal process which has to go on because this is an issue of trial.
No, absolutely. Can I just ask you a quick question before I open this up to our other guests? One of the contentions people make, Vishnu Jain, is that you started off this case, this particular case, as a right to pray case, and now it has swiftly moved into the direction of the character of the mosque or the structure itself.
It is absolutely erroneous because we have 7 suits filed in Kashi, 7 suits. And there is title also involved, there is right to prayer involved, there is a declaration which we have sought for declaring this entire 5-coast area as Avimukta Kshetra. So this is not just a case of puja of Ma Shringar Gauri. This is a case of puja and worship of the entire area along with title of Adi Visheshwar. And let me also tell you that the Honorable District Court Varanasi, in compliance of the directions of the Supreme Court, has consolidated these matters, has clubbed these matters. And the law of clubbing is that when all these matters are clubbed and consolidated together, the pleading of one plaint can be read in other plaint. And this direction of ASI is a step forward. So this is not a question of just one prayer of Shringar Gauri. This is all
matters are now clubbed. Okay.
And now everything will be clubbed together and everything will be proceeded in trial in a consolidated way. All the matters have been transferred to the district court for original trial.
Yes, actually I should mention to our audiences that even in the Shahi Eidgah case, all matters had been put before the High Court and the Muslim side had opposed that. But in that also the Supreme Court has today said that let the High Court decide these matters, and because pendency in such matters creates disquiet, and looking at the nature of the case, the top courts believes that it should be decided by the SC. So that's a separate matter, but this case has also been clubbed. Let me go across to our other guests also joining us, and Vishnu, I'll come back to you, just stay with me. Let me go across to Shahid. Shahid, how do you look at it? Is it finally time that when both sides are not seeing eye to eye, only a scientific survey can decide one way or the other? Would you agree that this is only the natural course of progression for a case like this?
Earlier also, this kind of order was passed by the same court under Section 45, directing scientific survey. That was stayed by Honorable High Court of Allahabad, and to my knowledge, still the stay is pending, still the stay is operating. I am surprised how such an order can be passed when the matter is already subjudiced. As far as the investigation, scientific investigation are concerned, matter has already been issued by High Court. How the lower court is passing order against the order of Honorable High Court? That is one point. The other point is when there is an act passed by Parliament of India and that act is still a good law, that act is still stand operative. And not only this, RSS chief, after the verdict in Babri Masjid Mosque case, had said that now past should be forgotten. And why this act was passed? If these two things are put together, then the only purpose of passing of that act was that so that the history may not be digged further, so that the people may live in harmony. Now see the order which my little friend has right now read, that for immediate effect that has to be done.
Yes.
Now even the time for appeal is not granted by the court. Why the time of appeal has not been granted?
Okay, fair enough.
Well, this happens otherwise.
No, you're making
So
2-3
time of
points.
appeal is a statutory right.
Fair enough. You're making 2-3
That is-
points.
that
The
is
legal
statutory
side.
right.
I'll ask Vishnu to respond to the legal question.
This itself is sufficient.
Okay, I'll
This
ask
itself is
Vishnu to
sufficient.
respond to the legal question, but you did raise the question of the Places of Worship Act. I do want to remind you, and I mentioned this before I came to our guest, that even the Supreme Court last year said that determining the character of a place of worship is not barred under that law. Now, you could very well argue, what happens after you determine the character? Would that not open a Pandora's box? That question is still up in the air. Let me go across to Maulana Masood as well. Sir, what is your contention? Is it time that we finally now let a scientific evidence decide this? In the case of Gyanvapi, even more than Ayodhya or Mathura, there are telltale signs of the structure. It's our misfortune that we can't come together and decide on a subject like this. There is no historical dispute that this temple was destroyed by Aurangzeb and a mosque was built. But I leave that aside. If nobody is agreeing to those arguments, this is the only way forward.
Shivani ji, first of all, let me make it clear that we are very badly dividing the Muslim country on the Hindu and Muslim by saying that the Muslim side and Hindu side. It is simply legal battle between the people of Mandir and between the Masjid Intizamiya Committee. That's all, not Hindu-Muslim. Many Muslims are with the people of the Mandir. Many Hindus are with the people of the Masjid. This is the legal battle. So we should not further divide the peaceful country into communalism. Number one. Number two, historical wrong we cannot make right at this stage. Recently, the co-panelist was referring to the Places of Worship Act 1991. This act very explicitly stipulates that place of no tinker can be made with any place of worship which has been existing and where the worship being performed is on August 15, 1947. So, Muslim community, the Masjid Intizamiya community is not happy with this verdict of today. And the Masjid Intizamiya committee might challenge this in the High Court.
Yes.
Because even the survey can make harm to this protected monument.
Okay.
To this protected
I get your
mosque,
point.
which has been protected
under the 1991 Places of Worship Act. But can I just add one thing? Vishnu Jain will respond. I'll take all of the panel's comments and then he can respond at the end. Can I just mention one thing? In this case particularly, you talked about the cutoff of 1947. Sir, in this case, as far as Ma Shringar Gauri worship is concerned, that worship was happening even post the 1991 order, and that worship was stopped by the action of a state government. The petitioners went to court saying that if that was stopped post 1991, then what is the justification for it? And they wanted to get that right again. So let's not forget that aspect of this case as well. Deshrattan Nigam, Maulana Masood makes a point that historical wrongs cannot be corrected now. Is it time to just let it be?
Shivani, in fact, if you recall, the Indian civilizational aspiration was only for 3 worship places: Kashi Vishwanath, Ram Mandir and Mathura. We were not asking for anything else. However, the obstinate character of certain sections of the society did not want to give those places for worship. It's like, taking Makkah away or Medina away from Muslims. This is that importance, and it is very clear Nobody is disputing that it was destroyed number of times by the Islamic invaders. It's already on Islamic record also. What they are saying is 1991 Worship Act. That is the only objection that they are raising. However, this temple is an ancient and historical monument, and the Prevention of Places of Worship Act clearly points out in Section 4, Section 3A, carves out an exception also, which says if a site is covered under Ancient Monument and Historical Site Act of 1958, then this act will not apply. So this is an ancient and historical place, and 1958 means about 100 years old from 1958. So this certainly is an exception carved itself in the act. That will also be gone into since the matter is pending in Supreme Court. So I still have faith that the Muslim community will themselves come forward and hand over this particular structure to the Hindus so that they can raise a magnificent temple, this place, and Mathura also. So we were not asking for anything else, but I don't know why for them these have no historical relevance also for Muslims. It has no, in fact, if you have destroyed a Hindu temple and built a mosque over it, then it is not even a mosque. Your prayer and namaz will not be accepted by
I get your point. I get your point. Ideally, we have all, in the case of the Ram Janmabhoomi case, also been arguing that let society only settle these. Let this not be court battles, but be that as it may, it is what it is. Vishnu Jain, I have a couple of minutes left. I want to come back to you. Please respond to what some of the other panelists have said. And are you confident that if the opposition side goes to the High Court, you will still be able to get this survey done? As you said, in the wazukhana case also, there has been, the matter is pending.
See, definitely wazukhana case was completely different, because when the matter travelled to the Supreme Court, it was 19th of May, the last working day of the Supreme Court, and the Anjuman Intizamiya said that they want to be heard. But please don't forget that, and please don't ignore this fact. The Anjuman Intizamiya is saying that it's a fountain. And when the matter needs to be investigated, and the High Court order of 12th of May is very clear that let it be investigated, they have gone an appeal before the Supreme Court. So I am very, very confident and very, very sure that we will explain our case before the Honorable High Court to the best of our ability, as well as before the Honorable Supreme Court to the best of our ability. Obviously, the results are not in hands of any lawyer. We can only explain our case before the Honorable Court. But the fact of the matter is that it is very, very logical that now the argument of Places of Worship Act has been rejected by two courts, Shivani. The Varanasi Civil Court has rejected the argument of Places of Worship Act and Waqf Act and Deen Muhammad on 12th of September 2022, and that order has been upheld by the Allahabad High Court, and the revision petition of Anjuman Intizamiya has been dismissed on 31st of May 2023. So now the fact of the matter is that the trial has to proceed. That's the direction of the Honorable Supreme Court by 20th of May 2022. So how will the trial proceed? If there will be no ASI survey at this stage, then how will I go in the stage of framing of issues? What will be the issues which will be framed? The crucial issue which will be framed, on which evidence has to be led in this matter, is that whether there was a pre-existing structure or not, and who is prior in time. So therefore this entire exercise is being conducted to determine that what is the religious character of this place and who is prior in time.
Vishnu, I have 30 seconds. Very quickly, aside from the ASI survey, what do you believe is the other big evidence or argument you have in this case? Let's say aside from the findings of the survey, because those are pending.
Yes, we have the book of Banaras Illustrated of James Prinsep, who was a district magistrate of Banaras at that relevant point of time, who has said that it's a Asht Mandap Mandir. We have the book of Rana P.B. Singh, who has given that what's the importance of this temple to us. We have the book and historical record of A.S.L. Traker, who is a well-known historian professor, who has said that even after demolition we are worshipping in the premises in question. So there are 12 witnesses in Deen Muhammad case who have given evidence in our favor. So there are a lot of historical records, there are travel accounts, there are gazetteers. We will file all these cases. We will file all this before the District Court Varanasi when the trial will open.
All right. I leave it at that, Vishnu Jain and all of our other guests. Thanks a lot for joining us. Certainly the case, the trial is moving forward, and as it stands, there seems to be no other way than to get scientific evidence on board. With that, it's a wrap on Plain Speak. My colleague Anand is joining you with the right stand.
Namaste, Jai Hind and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Narsimhan. A dated video from the time of turmoil in Manipur has shocked the consciousness of the entire nation. A day after this horrific video of two women being paraded naked in Manipur after being publicly raped surfaced on the internet, it drew massive condemnation from across all spectrums. 4, including the main accused, have now been arrested post massive outrage. Houses of 2 of the accused have been burnt down by the locals, but several accused are still at large. Politics mean